Alright, this is just going to be a real quick view because I just need to know if you like this before I go crazy on it. So, what I've got is these are 4" by 1/2" pieces of steel. They are in a C channel that is at either end. And there's the C channel here. We'll do some shop drawings to get it to look really well. It's all black, so it's very, very difficult to see that that is truly a C channel. It gives you some gap through there. Here out at this end. There, now you can see it. Oh, that one's on backwards. It'll be reversed. This one is right. I just copied it. I didn't flip it. So, at any rate, it's full of metal right up towards the end. And so then we've got the corbels themselves, and I will need to figure this out. That's why I really want feedback. I can't go anywhere without feedback. Got kind of a decorative metal rail. I'm liking it. I may change these tops from square to a round. I'd like some feedback on that. The top and the bottom. I go to round. And then you'll have to find what you're going to put in here. I'm just kind of showing that we want something that's kind of old world looking. And then you can see right through these when you look through the floor there. And so, yeah, it's actually looks pretty darn nice. There's a little haze right here. Don't worry about that. It's just me trying to fake this thing out. There's no floor there, because without a floor, it won't build a rail. So I'm using air as I built the floor out of air. Apparently the air is not completely see-through. So I'll work on that. I got to deal with the stainless over in this area, and then I'll also have to deal with what this end looks like. Now this would be full of floor trusses. You can't see those in this view, but what we need is an end to it, and I think I'll just drywall up it, unless you want that to be black steel down to a certain spot. And then these, gosh, I don't know if I have that open right this moment. Give me one sec here. I'm going to pause this video if I can find where the software is. So I had sent this to you yesterday. I just forgot. So basically, this back plate steel, it's full depth, so it comes all the way out to the edge, but it's one piece, and then it'll go up and out. And that is a 3/16 inch cut out of 3/16 sheet good. Then they cut this stripe out of 1/4 and weld it to either side, and then cut this out of 3/16 and weld it to either side. So there is a depth difference right here, and we'll get a nice little line right through here. But if you notice, we've got these through bolts, because I'm going to have a big, huge, it's deep, but it's very narrow, because I don't need it for strength. But it's just a big glue lamb to tie these into so that this doesn't want to pull off. And so the bolts have to go through it. Now, for more strength, I would like to stagger these bolts like this. For looks, you may want them like this if they're exposed. Now, my thought was they don't have to be exposed necessarily, because we can actually take and cover these to a certain depth with just enough to cover the bolt with a piece of wood. And we'd lose some of our circle if we did that, but sure would look good to cover that up and not see the bolts. So could do metal as well. I'm not sure I'd attach the metal. It gets kind of complex because we'd only be welding on site, so it would have to be like really figuring out some joinery to make things that slide up and cover it. And it could be an afterthought, something that you come back and trim years later. So exposed, I know you really like symmetry, and so if the bolts are going to remain exposed, I would assume that you'll want them this way. So that's why I did use a glue lamb, so that when we drill holes in it this close together, it's not just going to tear it apart. And then, so it's a 3 1/8 by 33 deep glue lamb. It's not super long, but I'll also have to find some ways to hook it into other areas. This one was a really convenient area to put that glue lamb in. And then I got to figure out the corners. The ones that are in other areas of this, what do I want to call it? The library's cantilevered area. You can see that this is where I built it so far, and this is the depth, is from here to here. Where when we come around, this is much deeper, and it's carrying bookcases. This is quite a bit deeper and carrying some bookcases. Now we get narrow, plus we got the pole to support. We can weld to that pole. That could be a side weld. We'll do it before I put the flooring down. Then, same deal here. So I have to get attachments for my corbels here, and I think I'm going to come probably just one right off the center of each of these angles, and then pick one up here, and leave that. I need the head clearance, so I don't want to get any closer than right here, so you can get up these stairs easy. Here, I'll probably put one either here or it's metal, so I might come all the way back to here. So I'll put the corbel here, put the corbel here, and then so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And yeah, maybe it'll go here and here. Maybe I only need this one and this one, because if I use like a 1/4 inch C channel, it's plenty strong to hold everything. It's making the wall strong enough to hold the corbel is the trick, and not get it to push in. Where we're dealing with this particular area, that glue lamb can sit inside this arch through here, so it works out really nice, and that will make it super strong. So I'm not worried about that one. I have to figure out how to attach the one that would go on this surface, and then 2 here, and 2 here, and there. Those are just standard walls, so I've got to be able to put some push on it. So that's what I'm working with. I'd like some thoughts on how this is turning out, what you think of it, how it's looking overall before I go finishing out, because all of this is hand. Each one of these, they're all handmade, and when I turn the corner, I've got to figure out how I'm going to deal with this void. You know, do I turn them, tie them in like this? Do I create 2 strong points here and here and then fill them this way? I gotta see what's gonna look best, and then we'll get that filled in. But I can wrap the C channel around here pretty quickly. That's not the hard problem. And then doing the stainless, or not stainless, but doing the painted steel, sheet steel underneath here, so that when you look up, you're not going to be looking underneath these cabinets. So you would certainly, if you're going to see underneath them, they need to be painted nicely. They don't typically come, but with a little overspray underneath, or lightly painted. So might even want to go black, so you really don't see them if you were going to leave that, so that these slats are open underneath the cabinetry as well. So now that you've kind of seen this in play, I would definitely appreciate some feedback. Gotta figure out that guy. Looks like I left a wall there. I'll fix that. Anyway, give me a shout, and we'll talk soon. Thanks. Bye.